Hi guys. So today I'm going to make some speaker modifications to my car, mainly because I hate the way that everything is set up in this thing. So if you've got the radio on, you can't hear these speakers at all. All you have is what's on the dash. So this is an 86, and I'm going to walk you guys through how I'm putting some custom speakers in my 86. What I'm doing right now is removing this. So this is where the stock like 5x7 is. So I'm gonna show you guys what I did here and then run some speaker wire from this location up to where I'm going to put them. And I've already got one hole cut, and I'll kind of walk you guys through the process, show you what I'm doing. It's a fairly simple deal. So I remove the 5x7s from here, and all I'm gonna do is connect to this wiring. I don't really want to have to chase it out, take all these panels off and figure out where it's going. So what I'm going to do is run some wire from here to up front where I've got the new speaker location. Show you where I've got it. So you can see I've got a hole cut there. So what I'm going to do is run the wire from here. We're going to have it from this location up behind this panel here. I'm going to take off this little plate and we're going to run it right down behind there. Let's get it started. There we go. Fairly simple. Just ran it up here where the shock goes. We'll tie it in back here. Alright guys, so the thing to remember about speaker wiring is that polarity makes a big difference. So polarity is your positive and negative, and it basically keeps things in phase or out of phase. Now what that means is if you can envision having two speakers pointed at each other, which is basically what's going to happen with this, the positive and negative are where the pulses for the sound comes from. So if the positives are both, if they're in phase, you got the positive to the positive on the speaker and the negative to the negative, your speakers will move together. If you have them backwards, they will move opposite of each other, so the sound waves will it'll sound really funky in the car. So like when the bass hits, one will cancel out the other. So instead of them both pushing the cone out at the same time, one will be pulling and the other will be pushing. So the sound will get kind of funky. So that's why make sure that you mark on your wires. So I know that the one that's got the writing on it is my positive, and the one without is a negative. So what we'll probably have to do is look at the head unit and see how we've got it wired up. Look at our positive and our negative. Alright, so we're in here now, and you can see I've got my hole cut, and I've got my speaker here. We're ready to go. The one thing I'm going to do is add one of these baffles. So this should help to get as much sound into the car as possible, which is kind of what I'm going for, instead of losing it all in the space of the car where you can't hear anything. So we'll put that little baffle in there. And the other thing that I've got are these little clips to hold the speaker in. So these little clips, Alright guys, so let me show you how I first started this off here. Okay, so I've got my speaker, and I used a piece of cardboard, and I was able to cut out a template. So what I did was, I held this upside down on the cardboard, traced around it, and then I just slowly cut out the middle until I got a pattern that would fit my speaker, like so. So what I'm going to do is take this pattern, and I'm going to trace it out inside the car, and then I'm going to cut it out with a knife. So let's take a look at doing that. So I showed you guys the passenger side. Here's the driver's side. So I made this template so that on the other side I could put it up against there and this would line up right here. So now I just have to give her a little flip, right? So to make sure that I do it right, if I did it this way, the speaker would be down too far. So I got to do it like this. And there's a little piece down here that I go back until I get to that. Back a little farther. And that's where we do it, right there. There we go. So there's going to be our cutout. I'll go ahead and use a knife, and I will just cut through this plastic with a knife, and then I will trim it a little bit to fit, and it'll be a pretty easy deal. So I took this panel off initially, and I looked behind there and measured where I needed it before I created my template and decided to cut it all out. So let's get going on it. Alright, so these are the clips that I'm going to be using. The one thing that I will say about them that I don't like is the depth, and I couldn't find anything shallower. So the problem is that when I put these in all the way, if I were to put it in like this, then the speaker won't clear this part of it. So what I've been doing is taping this to the back side here. So I just put some tape on it, put it here, and it works. So I know it's kind of a ghetto solution, but it is what it is. So you throw a little bit of tape on this, like so. Just like that. Then I'm putting this baffle in here, and this is kind of helping to keep my little fasteners in place. Kind of like so. I might put a cover on them at some point. We'll see. But I'm happy with them. Really not a whole lot of locations. I could have put it up there, but that would have been awkward for somebody sitting in the back with an armrest. My kids, mainly. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.